When disaster strikes, it doesn't just take homes. It takes safety and it takes hope.
Aiden and I, we've stood side by side with families that have lost everything in one moment and became homeless. All it takes is one act of kindness to change everything for them.
And that's why me and my dad started Relief Alliance, to help individuals overcome their toughest moments.
But we can't do it alone. There's families out there right now that need your help.
And for the price of 2 cups of coffee, you can provide a family food, clothes, water, and shelter every single month. Donate today at reliefalliance.org.
That's reliefalliance.org. Please be the hope that a family needs tomorrow. Thank you.
Well, welcome everybody back to another Mindful Monday. You know, we're all on a journey, and sometimes those journeys have challenges. However, you do not have to face those challenges alone. At Mindful Mondays, we believe that we can do more together, and we're here to support you holistically and without judgment. So thank you for joining us today. Now, I am super excited to have this amazing father-son duo from Relief Alliance with us here today. Dr. Jeremy McNally is also nationally recognized humanitarian, founder, father, visionary, and he was a recipient of the Congressional Award for his exceptional dedication to his community. Jeremy's journey is driven by compassion and shaped by hardship, leading him to dedicate life to rebuilding hope for families and individuals facing homelessness, poverty, and personal care. And as a single father, Jeremy raised his son Aiden after his mom left at the age of 2. Together, they co-founded the nonprofit Relief Alliance, which we just saw a quick ad for. Aiden McNally, now he is one of the youngest emerging humanitarian voices in America. Obviously raised by his dad here, he has been guided by a legacy of family compassion, and he grew up not just witnessing service, but living it. He has an extraordinary commitment and has also been recognized with a Congressional Award for his service and a Teen Excellence Award for his leadership and positive influence. So, and that is just, let me tell you, that is just barely scratching the surface of what this father and son duo has accomplished. So, Aiden, Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Laura. It's such an honor to be on here.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. I appreciate having us on.
Oh, absolutely. I just love the work that you guys have been doing. And it's so true. It just takes a little bit or a little act of kindness, to kind of help turn things around. But maybe we can start by you guys, Jeremy, if you want to start with your journey as a humanitarian from a place of personal hardship. Can you share kind of a little bit about that journey and what inspired you to dedicate your life to helping others?
Yeah, absolutely. I help others because I used to live like that, like the people that we help. I started off, I had a bit of a rough childhood, not because of my family. They've always been extremely supportive of me and my goals. And it's a lot of why I turned out the way I did and my son the way he did, because I learned what they taught me and I passed that down with my own modifications. But I had a bit of a troubled past. I'll skip the the teenage years, but I ultimately ended up with having a problem drinking, and I checked myself into a 28-day rehabilitation inpatient, and I thought it was just going to be impossible. I didn't want to drink. I had no interest in it, but I also knew that I couldn't do it alone. And I get there and I'm sitting in these groups thinking to myself, is this even going to be possible? Because I'll never be able to drink again. And what do? You go out on a business meeting, you're drinking, you go out with your friends, you're having a drink. So, that really bothered me. And I told God, I pray, I'm very godly. And I prayed that night. I was like, God, if I get out of this, if you help me get out of this, I will devote my entire life to helping other people like myself. And prior to that, I've had a history as well. But I won't go into the details there. In a nutshell, I got out of that place, never drank again. My son and I, we've always helped people, see somebody in a median, let's take him out to eat, or let's bring him a warm meal, or, ask him what he needs and go to the store and grab it. whatever we could do to really help out. And we ended up moving to Florida, and we founded the Relief Alliance, and that's what we're here today for. But that drinking story, that I'd say is the biggest thing that pushed me to dedicate my life to helping other people.
Yeah. And everybody, it's a lot of time, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people, a lot of people wind up having some kind of vice or something that they fall back on. Being military plus, I've seen, plenty of drinking's always was always there. And sometimes that gets hard to shut off, but obviously you're living proof that you can make, extreme change, different changes and have a whole better life.
You can, and it just comes down to that inner drive. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for other people? And you said something earlier. It doesn't take a lot to give back, and there's a lot of people out there that have nothing. You think you have problems. There's other people that have problems, and it could be as simple as a simple conversation that really changes their day.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot to give back, to your point. It just takes a conversation. If you could do more, great. Please do. But a conversation,
Yeah. Yeah. So Aiden, tell us a little bit what it was like growing up with a father who's so deeply involved in humanitarian work.
It was good. It set a lot of good morals in me. We would go out and volunteer, just help really anyone we could see. Because I grew up, I saw a lot of people, a lot of my friends, they didn't have guidance from their parents, the teachers, families were going without support. And, me and my dad, we would always ask ourselves, like, how can we do more? Like, helping one person is awesome. It does make a difference, but we want to do it at a bigger extent. So that's when we moved to Florida. We really wanted to start making a bigger impact, especially around the Orlando area. We just saw how bad it was and is getting, and that's really how Relief Alliance is born. So I think my dad, raising me as he did, it put a lot of good morals in me. So that's what it was like growing up with.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you just kind of grow up wanting to team up with them and follow, or was there anything in your life that happened to say, you know what, I need to team up with them that made you change?
I think I just just followed him, followed my grandparents. My whole family was like that. So I think I just followed their example and started really enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is absolutely beautiful. I love that. And I love seeing that, people still do that, because a lot of times you come across people that think that there's no one out there that is even, doing this thing. Because there is a lot of people struggling and stuff out there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of awareness on the cause. That's one of the big things we're trying to do is spread awareness to everyone and let people know that there are resources in our areas and there are resources. That's the part of our alliance. We're connected with a lot of other nonprofit organizations. So if we can't help someone, we always try to make sure that they get the support that they need and deserve.
Yeah. What was your guys' initial vision for you for this organization, and has it evolved over time?
Well, we initially started this during the immigration crisis. There were a lot of folks that were just really strapped. Resources were strapped, and we figured we'd come in and just help people that were living in poverty. But it had nothing to do with the border is the thing. We realized that fast and went to, well, there's people all over the place that need help. There's really bad off people. So what can we do to help them? Which really broadened our horizons quite much. And we started working with people that are in poverty, living in homelessness. And then we working with our youth to build up our next generation, because that's who's going to be leading the world one day. And, not everybody has somebody to guide them. So we wanted to be that organization that brings people together to provide that guidance and support.
Yeah. So, and it's true, because it's if you're not aware of it or you're not around it, it's, being military, I think I was doing an event one time and I brought whatever we had left over to care and share. And then I went into the commissary one time and I saw someone standing out there. It never even dawned on me that we had homeless veterans. I don't know why it never dawned on me, but it just never dawned on me. And I was like, wow. And then all of a sudden, then I started realizing it and then seeing. So, it's kind of amazing how we can just kind of go about our business or in our own little world and not realize everybody, else that's out there that's struggling, that, like you said, can take that one little thing, doing that. So
Yeah.
what kind of challenges? I mean, have you guys faced a lot of challenges building that?
We've faced plenty of challenges. I'll give you an example of one. There's this talking about vets. We work with a guy. He's a disabled vet. He lives at Walgreens outside. He has an electric scooter. He goes across the street to Publix. It's a supermarket, and his entire life is between those two stores. He's immobile. He was shot 8 times, has bullet fragments in him, and he can't walk. He can stand, but he can't walk. And he's also obese. He has really bad sores on his legs. He's just in not the best shape, and he's not getting the medical attention that he really needs. He called us one day because we work with him. We help him out. And he called us that his scooter broke down. He was stranded in a parking lot at a gas station, which is on the way to Walgreens from Publix. And his scooter broke down. So we rushed over there. We're not far away from him. And we tried to get somebody to help move his scooter. Nobody wanted to do that. Nobody would help him. Nobody would help us even trying to get, and all that we needed to do is get his scooter about a half a mile away. It wasn't happening, so Aiden and I had to push that scooter quite a ways to be able to get fixed. In the end, and he ended up getting a new scooter from our help. And now he's doing his thing. We still work with him like we always have, and we're trying to do more for him as we grow. But that's a challenge, when people run into situations like that. How do we fix things faster? How do we provide help faster? We only have what we have. We're a national organization with a small team, and we have a lot of volunteers, but it doesn't solve those types of challenges. So How do we solve those types of challenges? And I think that's our biggest challenge today, is how do we do what we do faster? Because these people need help when they need help, and they can't wait a month. They can't wait 2 months. They need help now. So that's probably the biggest challenge.
So maybe you can give us some more insight of what exactly, your organization, because you do a number of things. Maybe you guys can go over kind of some of the things that you do on a regular basis, to start with, and where we can help.
Yeah, so we focus on homeless rehabilitation. So we go out, we feed every single day, give away basic essentials, Bibles, blankets, clothing, you name it. Then we also have youth. Before I get into these programs, we also work on homeless rehabilitation. So not only are we feeding and clothing them, we are trying to rehabilitate them and make them self-reliant. And then we also have youth programs. Like, for example, I'm actually wearing one of the T-shirts, T-Next. It's a TV show where it's a group of teens. We go to music video sets, Hollywood sets, exclusive red carpets, etc., and we interview people and we ask them questions that the general public would like to know, more focused towards youth. So we're just trying to inspire youth and give them a voice, because a lot of them don't believe they do have a voice, and that's what we're trying to improve.
That's kind of cool. Kind of brings Make-A-Wish Foundation in my head when I hear it's kind of like making someone's dream come true. I mean, like you said, you're on the red carpet, you're in Hollywood. Who would normally run into those people? That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, the other thing to add to that is it also creates opportunities for the youth that we work with. So we can recruit as many youth as that wants to participate across the entire United States, and we'll work with them. We'll get them into these events. We'll let them, in a nutshell, it's teaching them a lot along the way. They're learning how to be comfortable in front of a camera, comfortable speaking, comfortable running a business. Because when we say it's a TV show for youth, led by youth, we really mean it's led by youth. The adults, we're there, but we're, you guys run with it.
You're kind of behind the scenes.
Right. And then we'll guide you along the way, which we do. And the kids do such an awesome job. I say teens, but we do have one she's a preteen. Her name's Charlie Leroy. She is a child prodigy. She does voiceovers for Disney and other places.
Wow.
And she owns a fashion company that is garnering a ton of interest around the world. She's doing fashion shows. She's about to end up in stores everywhere. She's 10, and she's on our team. So, you get involved. I mean, we want our youth to get in the crowd and learn and have a good time doing it. That's really what it's about, is learning, getting something for your resume. Let us be your ally as you transition to adulthood and learn.
Yeah, that's really incredible. It reminds, I had a guest on before where she wrote her first book when she was 9, published her second one when her 10, she's 11, she's got her third one out. And yeah, I love seeing the younger generations and the youth just have such entrepreneurial spirit, things that we didn't grow up with. I know
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with that anyway. But it's great to see to have an organization that helps support them to do that.
You're right. Nobody guided me when I was growing up. I had to learn everything the hard way. And my golly, I did. I learned everything the exact hard way. It would have been really great having someone, if not an organization, out there willing to coach me and teach me and guide me and tell me where I'm making mistakes, tell me where I'm wrong before I make those. It's just having that ally, really. So if I wanted that, it would have helped me. I know for sure it would help other youth. And that's a huge thing. We need more people to do it, more people to get involved.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love seeing it. Like I said, I'm a Gen Xer, so I grew up in the day where you go to school, go to college, go get a job. Is entrepreneurs like, what was that? But you know what? I would say entrepreneurs are what makes the world go around, right?
Yeah.
It is. It is. Everything you see was created. Every single thing you see in this world was invented by somebody.
Yep, absolutely. Aiden, you were going to tell us a little bit more about your some of the other organizations that you're doing before we went to the youth.
Oh yeah, no, that was our youth program. So yeah, so get into the youth program. I mean, we have Teen X. We're trying to work out on a couple other youth programs. One of them is coming up in December. We're working on with Goat Paddle and the CEO Ryan Reeder to just give the kids a fun day and play pickleball. Meet some people, and even build some life skills. But eventually, we're trying to build out long term, like summer programs, full year programs, like weekly. But yeah, so right now we have the TNX program we have going on, and then pickleball youth program.
Well, and we also do life skill training as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we do leadership training, communication training, self-discipline, financial literacy, media and production skills, goal setting and planning. So we cover a lot of topics. It just really depends on the youth that we're working with at the given moment. But the baselines as well. To Aiden's point, we do the pickleball, which is really cool, and it's fun.
Yeah, and you said you have a small team, but I know you and Aiden do a lot of traveling together, and you travel a lot, and you're all over. So, what kind of team are you guys working with? Because you said you're all over the U.S., right? So do you kind of just pop up wherever you're needed? Do you have people in different states, or?
Yeah, we have operations in San Diego, California, Los Angeles, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and down here in Florida, and the full state. And our team, it's me and Aiden that co-founded this, but we have volunteers that help us with our social media marketing, CRM management, and it really just like the nitty gritty stuff that we just can't focus on all day because we need to focus on growing and expanding. But we also have people that do supply and distribution. So we get food accounts. Like, let's say you're in New York and you're like, hey, Relief Alliance, I want to volunteer with you. What can I do? I want to give out food to the homeless. Well, we will get an account for you in your area for food supply. You handle the pickups, and then we'll work with you to create a team that can go and distribute it. And we'll show you how we do it, basically. So that's how we're trying to expand. But we have those people already in the locations I mentioned.
Nice. So are you looking for people in other locations to keep expanding, or what are you guys looking for? What helps?
Yes. We're everywhere. So if you could be in a small town in Wisconsin and have a homeless population, they need help. Location doesn't make a difference. If you call us and you're in that small town in Wisconsin, we're going to go get you a food account and help you get set up so you can distribute food to the homeless, or partner with other nonprofits in your area or shelters in your area.
Nice. So are you looking to expand your staff? Are you looking for, who are you looking for?
So we're looking for people who can help us on the food distribution. That's a big one. We're always recruiting for that. That the more people, the more places we can get the better, because that's just more food accounts, more food going to people who are hungry.
Right.
But overall, we're looking for people to help us with event coordination. So we're looking for professional skill sets from legal, financial, marketing, video editing, event coordination and planning, to managing the table, at the event. So we really have a need, and it's ever growing, really, for those things.
Nice. So, you want to share with us then some of the things that you guys have done that you've seen? I mean, because I'm sure you've been impacted a lot of lives, and I know you do a lot of different events because I've seen the different pictures. Do you want to tell us about some of those?
Yeah, I'll say the first one here. So one story that sticks out to me is a mom and her young children who had been living on a sidewalk in Orlando. So every day for them, they just struggled to find a safe place to sleep and get enough food. You're not allowed to go sleep on the sidewalks in Orlando. So, they get set up, the police would come and they'd have to move, and then go to that next spot. Police come, they have to move. It's just an endless battle of where do I sleep? They're trying to congregate around areas where there's people to some degree so they can find help. Nobody's going to them to help them except for us. So they have to be around people to be able to ask for that help. And asking for that help seems to be frowned upon in society. And that's where, the police come in and kick them out, unfortunately. But in some cases, that's very understandable too. But you need people to step up. So with this mom and her kids, we stepped in with emergency shelter, food, clothing, hygiene supplies, and we came back multiple times a week. We helped them access rehabilitation services that included skills coaching and guidance to help them rebuild stability. And today that family does have hope. They have structure and they have access to programs that are helping them get back on their feet. And stories like that remind us, why every action that we take matters. And it doesn't take a lot to be able to do that. It sounds like it might take a lot, but it doesn't. It just takes consistency and showing up. And
Yeah, it's amazing kind of what a little bit of hope, can do. It can really change a lot. But so are you able to help get people like into a center or get something and hopefully eventually get back on their feet?
Yeah, so we're an alliance of nonprofit organizations, small business owners, philanthropists, film producers, actors, models. We have a large network, and the whole goal in building that alliance was to pool resources and help each other out. We all have a shared vision. Not everybody can just join the alliance. So yes, we have partnerships with places for housing and assistance. We have partnerships for food. We have partnerships for hygienic products. We have partnerships for pet products, like flea and tick medication, for example, because there's a lot of homeless folks out there that do have a dog for emotional support, and they can easily get covered in fleas, and it's miserable. So they're not going to get rid of their dog, and if we have access to a donation for flea and tick medication, then we'll provide that as well. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I because there's got to be obviously a lot of collaboration and partnerships that are making this. Do you have ones that you can discuss that's significantly made an impact in your work relief?
Yeah. JFC for You in particular. So there's when we started, we met a person named Camille Robb. She's the sweetest woman, and she has this nonprofit organization called JFC for You. And what they do is they feed the homeless, they clothe the homeless, and we started volunteering with them to figure out how are they doing all this. This is when we first started. And they really showed us so much, where to go, what to look out for, how to get food accounts. And then we took that knowledge and ran with it. And then we partner till this day, actually. We pool our resources, and they help us, we help them. And that was probably the most impactful relationship we've built, along with the Easy Way Network. Easy Way gave us national visibility. They turned our story into something national versus local, and since then we've been awarded, multiple awards, the Congressional Award, Peace Ambassadorships, Parent of the Year for 2025. Got an honorary doctorate degree based on that exposure. People are seeing the work we're doing. We try to video record it to show people this is what it's like out here, and this is what it takes to give back. So, with that work, it really went a long way in giving us that national boost. But Aiden, you want to add anything to that, buddy?
Oh, no. I think you covered both the points that I was gonna go at. But yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you guys are both peace ambassadors, right, with the Universal Peace Federation. So, what messages of hope do you believe are most important for today's youth, especially ones that are feeling overwhelmed by our global challenges that we have?
Aiden?
Oh yeah, I think that one of the biggest things is just going out there and doing. It doesn't. You can go out there and spread peace, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter how much money you have. Just saying hi to someone is something about spreading peace. Really, just ending. Going for ending violence is one of the biggest things. There's a lot of violence in these communities. People are greedy. A lot of politicians are greedy. People need to just stand up and not take that anymore, and they need to. Yeah, so I think that's my answer.
Yeah, and failure really is a part of growth. So a lot of people fail, and we experience this with a lot of the folks we work with. Is failure seems to be the end of the world in some cases, but it's part of the journey. Mistakes aren't the end; they're opportunities to learn, they're opportunities to improve, come back stronger. And then the other thing is the future. Everybody's future is in their own hands. Small steps today, learning new skills, helping others, making responsible choices. It can shape your life the way you want it to be tomorrow. So living in the moment and not anticipating the future, but making the right decisions today to make sure you end up where you want to be in the future. And then forget the past, because it's the past. Don't let it affect your life today. Because that's also another thing, is something bad might have happened a few years ago, but today I'm reeling from it, and I might have lost my job, I might have lost my housing, and the past is the past. It's all about living right now and making the decisions right now for right now, not about the past, and not worrying about the future to where it's going to stress you out and give you a heart attack, because stress does cause heart attacks. So, just make the right decisions today, right now.
Yeah, stress is a big killer for most all illnesses, diseases, and ailments. But yeah, that's why I always like that book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, right? Because what's done is done. There's nothing you can do about it. The future's not here yet, but what you do have is what's right now. And like you, that's why I always tell people, it's like, I don't look at failures as failures. It's a lesson learned. I would say you only fail if you keep repeating the same thing and making the same mistake, and you're not learning from it. But I would imagine it's got to be tough, because I know, as someone, that does self-care and mindfulness, and when you know what you know, and so many people that you can help, but like you said, they have to want to have the help and change, and want to change. Do you ever find that difficult? Or how do you keep motivated and keep going through that? Because I'm sure there's lots of people you've seen that you'd like to help, but then maybe haven't been able to, or they didn't want the help. That's got to be challenging.
Yes, that happens a lot. It depends the kind of help that we're talking about. Is it do you want to rebuild your life, and do you want our rehabilitation services that we offer? That you can't rehabilitate somebody who doesn't want it.
Right.
But those same people, they might be out of food. They might not have a shirt or a blanket for the night, and that doesn't change that. We will absolutely step up and help there, because these folks do want that help, or they need that help. I take that back, though. There is this one guy. He's also a vet. He doesn't have both of his legs. He lost both of his legs, and he's in a wheelchair. And he also is around the stores, and he doesn't want help. We'll go over there with food. He doesn't. He turns it away every time. We brought him clothes. We brought him hygiene products. We saw that he cut his arm, so we brought him medical, like over the counter gauze and Neosporin. He didn't want it, and so there are people like that, and it's just you respect it, but always ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, because that answer might change one day. Maybe he really does need help, and he's just not going to ask.
No, I think for a lot of people, I don't know if it's pride or what, but sometimes it's just hard to ask for that help, or you just get used to doing everything on your own. And I would imagine you counter that quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
So your reliefalliance.org site, people can help donate to that, right? Because you guys are a nonprofit.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We accept donations on the site. You can request assistance from our site. You can apply to be a volunteer through our site. We are peace ambassadors, so you can upload your peace videos. The last batch of peace videos that we got were seen by tens of millions of people all around the world through our work with the United Nations. That's a huge deal. So we're constantly taking those videos and submit it right through our site, reliefalliance.org. Or if you want to nominate somebody to be a peace ambassador, we were granted the power to nominate people as peace ambassadors for the Universal Peace Federation. Huge honor. And we want people that really want peace, that really want to advocate for peace, that people that stick out and do extraordinary things in their communities. That's the type of community we want to build, and we're not limited by location.
Yeah, I noticed that. So is it like doing the shorts, like something like less than 60 seconds or about peace, or is
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do. So you could submit a video. I mean, we're not going to, hold you strict to 30 seconds, but maybe 20, 30 seconds. If it goes longer, no biggie. But yeah, like, what does peace mean to me? And then answer it and then submit that. And then next time we submit it out, it'll be seen by a lot of people.
Nice. It's a really nice thing, because I think there needs to be more of that out there, and like you said, more people sharing. And if you didn't think you guys had your hands full enough, you do a number of other things, right?
Yeah.
So you also have the McNally software.
Yep, we do. We've had that for about 10 years. So one of the things we learned was it's not easy to get donations as a nonprofit. So if you go into a nonprofit thinking it's, you're going to make all this money, you just don't. It's all about giving back. And McNally software is how we fund it. I've been funding this out of my own pocket for the most part. And what we do there is it's a custom software and web development company. We also work to help organizations optimize their processes, like clunky processes that take 2 weeks, that cost a lot of money in the end. We look at those processes and give recommendations and solutions to be able to fix those and save organizations potentially millions of dollars. 30% of all the net proceeds from the work we do at McNally Software goes to Relief Alliance. And then same with our other company. Aiden's the president of it, actually, and I'm the CEO. So
Wealth Strategy Media, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Wealth Strategy Media, it's a full service media and branding company. So we provide TV distribution, social media strategy, red carpet access, celebrity partnerships, endorsements from celebrities for your brand, and event coverage. So through our collaboration, we help amplify Relief Alliance's message while supporting our events, with Relief Alliance and our programs, creating visibility and resources for the causes that we ultimately serve.
So that's huge. And so Aiden, you had this one up, right?
For Wealth Strategy Media?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think my dad covered all the points, from basic flyers, TV distribution. If you want to be positioned for national awards and recognition, come to us, wealthstrategymedia.com. It's on the screen. But thanks to my dad, he covered most of the points.
Yeah. So, okay. So you kind of help connect people, like you said, celebrity endorsements. Because I know that's a big thing nowadays. Besides TV shows, you got podcasts, you got all people doing all kinds of things. We lost Aiden there for a second.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah, so that would be, that's what, just for more recognition, you get the celebrities, or you actually interact with them, or I mean, how does that kind of work? I'm curious.
Yeah, so we do a lot of work in Hollywood, California. So we have access to the celebrities. We're friends with quite a few of them, and we work with a lot of them through our nonprofit as well. So we have full blown access to be able to give people the access to celebrities. So if a brand, for example, pays us for a celebrity endorsement, we can get it. It just depends when, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool. And you guys have a YouTube channel as well,
we do.
right?
We do. Yeah. We try to post, you know, like not everybody likes to be recorded, of course, you know. So I mean, we go out every day and feed the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't get videos of it all, but we do get a lot of videos, and we post them on YouTube, and we show what it's like on the street. What are we dealing with? What do people need to see to support that kind of work? We want to get more people involved. So that's what we show on there. Plus we show some other things like interviews Aiden and I have done on the red carpets, or, you know, whatever, really talking about Relief Alliance and the work we do to try to bring national exposure to the work we do.
Yeah. And I would imagine, yeah, of course, obviously you would need to get their permission, because like you said, not everybody wants to be out there on public and on the camera, but it's important for people to know the work that you're doing. So I'm glad you have some that do that. But you also have a big event coming up here in November, don't you?
We do, actually. So we have our first inaugural Peace Gala and recognition ceremony. Definitely join us. We'd love to have you there, Laura, and anybody watching. We're going to be doing this more often. This isn't just a one-time event, so stay tuned. You'll see things on our YouTube, or follow us on social media. But it's a historic event. It's an evening of honor, celebration, and impact. And it's going to bring together leaders, philanthropists, and change makers to celebrate, those that are making a tangible difference in their communities across the nation and around the world. And that's going to be on September, oh my golly, November 22nd,
Yeah.
from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. in West Palm Beach, Florida, at the club called Camelot. You can get tickets on our website. You can sponsor the event if you'd like to have your brand associated with it. We can absolutely plaster it everywhere. There will be media coverage at that event. So we're just looking to have a great time and recognize some amazing people that do amazing things for their communities.
So if they are looking to sponsor and support you, they should just get a hold of you through the website or through social media?
Yeah, absolutely. You go on our website, reliefalliance.org. That's reliefalliance.org. And you can go to our events page and take a look, actually. So this event, we're just setting it up now. So it'll be on our site probably in the next couple days. For those listening today, this recording's on October 21st. The event's on November 22nd, about a month out. But yes,
2025.
Don't mind me. I'm just fixing y'all since you switched, so I don't have a blank camera sitting there.
I'm sorry, my computer died. I don't know what. and then I got into and then I couldn't get into Wi-Fi.
That's okay. Technology. I just expanded you here. We're all right.
Thank you. I love this technology.
I was like, oh, we lost him. I was like, oh, okay, now he's back.
Yeah. But to real quick, these are peace ambassadorships. These are real peace ambassadorships with the United Nations affiliated Universal Peace Federation. We're in 120 countries, over 120 countries. We work with world leaders, former world leaders, philanthropists, change makers, influencers. It's a really big deal to be a peace ambassador, and we're just really excited for the 22nd to come, so we can recognize the folks that we are going to be awarding and nominating as peace ambassadors. We're also going to be handing out other awards, Relief Alliance awards, to recognize others as well. So it won't just be about the peace ambassadorships. It'll be fun.
That's incredible. You said 120 different countries?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice. So looking ahead, what dreams do you both have for the future of Relief Alliance and for youth empowerment as a whole?
Yeah, I'll start off with this one. On it, my long-term goal is to have kind of like warehouses type of thing, so we can have our own schools where kids can come in, homeless can come in. We have different sections, teach youth programs, and have homeless rehabilitation programs there, feedings, you name it. But that's one of my long-term goals. Um,
Yeah, and one of mine is I have multiple, but the bigger one is I'd like to bring food, water, and electricity to the places that don't have it. And in fact, we are going to be we're about to put a proposal out to be able to fund a project to do just that. We have partnerships with a company that creates electricity and energy from trash. It's a trash to energy conversion system, and it could be any trash, and also other than metal. Water from air, we can desalinate water as well from the sea, separate salt and water, so we can provide water to people. It's already happening in villages in Africa. So I mean, in a nutshell, these systems are combined to produce food in mass quantities, 3 million pounds per month of produce.
Wow.
So we could feed entire regions of the world through this system, and we can provide drinking water, safe drinking water, and we can provide energy. So we have a lot of support for this. We're partnering with multiple UN agencies, peace institutions like Connect for Peace, Peace I never know how to pronounce it. PEC, PEAC, without the E at the end. And many others, and so we're really trying to get that to happen. If we are successful, that is going to make a big dent in really impacting.
That is absolutely incredible, and a lot of work, but it's very impressive. So, how can our community support you guys in making those dreams a reality?
We just need people to be in our corner. And we've talked about it a little earlier. We just need help. The more people, the better. It takes a real village to do this kind of work. We've grown tremendously over the last year. We went from being a local nonprofit to a national brand, and we're growing faster than we could have ever imagined. But as part of that growth, it takes people to really support that growth and maintain the momentum.
So you've made all that progress in this last year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And we work hard.
Well, that's evident. I hope you sleep or take care of yourselves or something in between there. I know I've seen a couple pictures by the pool, but I'm like, okay, you gotta recharge yourself, otherwise you can't keep going.
That is why we moved to Florida to begin with. It's because we can recharge here.
I was going to say, maybe you can share with us, because you obviously have an extremely full plate. How do you guys balance all that out and keep your sanity?
Hot tubs.
Hot tubs.
Hot tubs.
It really though, we are working all the time, but to us, it's really not work. I think Aiden feels the same way. It's more of I won't even call it a hobby. It's just something that we enjoy doing. It's just part of our life. So when you say work, that's kind of how I think of it. But outside of that, we do have a lot going on. We have McNally Software. We have Wealth Strategy Media. These companies fund our nonprofit. They fund our life. So please come to those companies if you need work, listeners. But outside of that, we try to take our downtime and go for walks, go grab a coffee at the store and sit in their outdoor seating and just enjoy the day, go for bike rides, go kayaking, rock climbing, whatever we can do, because we're always on the road. So wherever
you gotta get swimming with the dolphins in there. If you're in Florida, you got plenty of water. You can go swim with dolphins.
Yes, actually, yes.
Or as my friend did, sharks. She went with sharks, but
Even better.
Yeah,
that would be fun, actually, doing sharks. I wouldn't mind swimming with sharks.
Yeah, she called me up to share that with me. It was a veterans trip that they had. They swam with some the black reef tips and lemon sharks. She goes, they're like big puppy dogs in the ocean, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I watched Shark
Okay.
Week. I know they have a little more teeth than that, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but I love it, you know. But we're not always here in Florida. Clearly, we're on the road constantly. In fact,
yeah,
we just got home at 4 a.m. yesterday from being on the road since September 9th or 10th. So but we have teams here that handle things while we're away. So things, you know, our work as far as our nonprofit's concerned doesn't miss a beat.
yeah.
But we try to enjoy life wherever we are, you know, even on the drives where we have business to attend to or family to see, but we'll make stops. You know, we have to drive past Pennsylvania. So let's just take a detour and go to Gettysburg and look at the history and read the plaques and take pictures. And we're,
There you go. That's what I'm talking road trips, because when you can go on your own schedule and you don't have to be from point A to B and you got some time, there's a
yeah.
lot of amazing things that you can see on a road trip.
Yeah, and it helps too because we get content for our clients, you know, with Wealth Strategy Media, because we do a lot of promo work. You know, if like we'll take a product and take pictures with it, get celebrities to hold it, you know, whatever we can do, that helps. The traveling helps that.
Yeah, I bet. So
Yeah.
do you have people that work at those other companies for you, or are you guys managing Wealth Strategy Media and McNally Software yourselves also?
We're managing it mostly ourselves, yeah. However, we have help for Relief Alliance for certain services and like marketing. We have help for, uh, you know, just a lot of different things. And they're not just helping us with Relief Alliance; they're helping us with Wealth Strategy Media and McNally Software as well. So that really helps. They're just great people. We got an awesome team behind us, and you know, some great advisors as well.
Well, it's just incredible.
Yeah,
So,
thanks.
and that's a lot of work in 1 year. It's very impressive.
Thanks.
Because Aiden, you're what, 16 or are you 17 now?
I just turned 17 a month ago, so I'm
Oh,
getting
well, see, 17. There you go. I'm like, I just, yeah, I'm impressed. I think it's fascinating. I love the fact that you two have teamed up and do this. And you're right. It's when like even with travel, people say, "Oh, you work." I said, "Depends. My work is fun, so it's play. It's my downtime. So it's not like work. It's not like going to a job. You know." And that's why I tell people, when you do what you love and it lights you up, then you know you're doing the right thing. If you're not lit up, you got to figure out what does light you up, because I think life's too precious to spend time just slaving away at something that you're really not truly happy. But you
Yeah.
guys are doing fabulous job and making one heck of an impact. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Well, you spend half your life working, right? Everybody has to work to earn money. I wouldn't say everybody. However, you do. You're going to spend half of your day every day working. Why do something you hate? Because that if you translate that, that means you hate half your life. Why would you want to hate half of your life when you only have one life and it's going to go by extremely fast? Why not do something that you want to do in love? But a lot of people don't know what they would want to do in love. And that's why we work with the youth to show them, like, this is why people do this. This is how, like, when you go to school, kids go to school and they're in math class. I'm sure you've heard it before. Why the heck am I doing this? Like, I'm not going to do any of this when I get older. I'm just going to give up.
yeah,
Well, you know, the problem is nobody's explaining how that could actually help some, you know, like what I'm doing this today, but what could this lead to? Like, what are my future options if I decided to go further with this? That way I can stomach the work I'm doing as a kid, right? Because
hmm
these, you know, I'm a kid, I don't want to work anyway. So you got to find fun, engaging ways to get them to do it. And that is one thing is where do you want to be in your future? Asking that question is so cliche because kids just, a lot of them don't know, but they also don't have anyone telling them what's out there. So honestly, a lot of them don't even know what to choose from. So
yeah.
it's one big broad
Or you
question.
have situations where people are telling them what they think they should do, and it's like, that's not your life. That's not your choice. But what's so sad is that we push all this on people. And I forget what the numbers are, but it's 80-90% of the people that go spend all this money to get degrees don't even get a job with what their degree is for, in the first place. And they just wind up doing what they think society wants them to do, but they're not happy doing it.
That's so true, and that's such an unfortunate thing, because you're not wrong. Kids get out of high school, they go to college just right away because that's what the expectation is, right? In society, is, oh, you go to school, go to college, and if you don't, there's some stigma behind that. But in reality, you do have a lot of kids going to school and getting out, and they have mounds of debt, and they have no job prospects. It's really unfortunate. I think that whole system needs to be reformed, but that's a whole nother topic.
Oh yeah, no, and I think it's really undervalued life experience.
Yeah.
Because when you have lived through things like you have, and you're coming from life experience and you've turned it around and you're helping others to turn it around, there is something to be said. To me, I think that's more valuable than any degree I can go hang on my wall.
Yes, it is. I believe that too.
Yeah. Well, we got about 5 minutes left, guys. What do you want to make sure everybody takes away from this?
Oh yeah, I want everyone to take this as a note, just to get involved with what we're doing. And if you don't want to get involved with us, start something yourself. You don't need to be a nonprofit to help other people. You can just feed people on the median, get them water, get them food, get them clothing. So if you want to donate, if you want to support our cause, go to reliefalliance.org. A lot of people will appreciate your donation.
Yeah, and exactly. And actually, to add to that, not if you feel that somebody would make a great peace ambassador, go on our site and nominate them. We have the ability to nominate people as ambassadors of peace. Let's build a community that advocates for peace and global stability. That's a really big deal. And then come to our events. We have that event on November 22nd. Go to our site and buy tickets to go or sponsor it. You have no idea how your sponsorship or that ticket purchase helps. It does. You're not just getting to go to an amazing event, getting some great content on the red carpet, getting photos by the media. You're helping people that we help without you having to do any work. You're buying that ticket is the work you do. We will do the work for you. We just need that level of support. Just support us, go to our events, follow us, stay tuned to what we have going on. And then if you need software, websites, e-commerce sites, complex web applications, basic stuff, or clunky processes that you need to make better, go to McNally Software and purchase that help from there, because that helps our nonprofit. There's a lot of companies out there that do those things. We do it very good, and 30% of all net proceeds go to Relief Alliance, which is how we fund it. We need that help. So go to us over somebody else. Well, Strategy Media, we Aiden mentioned earlier, we do national award campaigns. We have the ability to position people and campaign for them to get awards. We have TV distribution. We can get people in magazines, on the cover of magazines. We can get people their own magazines, get them on stage at exclusive red carpet events. We can get you into the exclusive red carpet events. So we do a lot, and these are all things we do through Wealth Strategy Media and McNally Software, and both fund our nonprofit Relief Alliance. So please, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because I can tell you, a lot of us solarpreneurs or entrepreneurs, you struggle in a lot of those areas and can use that help besides the clunky processes and websites and everything.
Yeah. And a lot of people can use that help, and we'll work with you too. Like if you're, like been putting it off because it's just been too expensive, just talk to me. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, because in the end, you'll end up with a nice solution. We'll end up with 30% that we can fund our nonprofit with, and we can pay our bills. So it's a win-win-win, really.
You're like me. I like win-win-wins. Win-win-win situations are always good.
They are.
Yeah.
And reach out. We're very, easygoing. If you want to just talk to us, have a conversation, or get involved, volunteer, or even just be on the sidelines, giving some support. It doesn't have to be in the form of money. Contact us, or just follow us on social media.
Yeah, it could be time and effort, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And lastly too, if you know any youth that want to be involved in our TV show Teen X TV, please, go to our site or contact us and we'll help you get set up. But it would be a wonderful opportunity for your kids to get involved, and you as parents, you'd also be involved too. So it's been a great opportunity for the kids that we have on our team now. It'll be a great opportunity for yours as well.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been absolutely incredible, and I'm amazed at all of the things you've accomplished in just a year. I can't even wait to see where you guys go in the next year or two, because I'm sure there's a lot of big things coming your way. So thank you very much for joining us. And everybody, like you said, you've got the companies you can, it's worth a conversation, right? Even if you're strapped a little bit, talk to them, support them, be a sponsor, show up at their events. Lots of ways that you can contribute and help them with their Relief Alliance. So guys, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, Laura. It's been an honor being here. Yes. And you're an awesome person. I love your show. So thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys. Everybody have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Monday.
All right. Take care, Laura.